class, I was talking about the Visual Force programming and tags, okay, and Apex programming, controller classes and things, and I have said about some inbuilt classes by Salesforce. Okay, I want to mute all you guys. If you have any questions, you can talk to me on by unmuting. Guys, I'm muting you. Yeah, that's it. So first of all, I will talk about when we use Visual Force pages, when we use Apex triggers, when we use controller classes. Again, from starting, this is telling this from starting. Okay. So first, suppose if you have a requirement, some validation rules, some validations on some object, or some some advanced field updates by validating some fields, by calculating some values and doing the update on the new field value, that type of things. And one more thing is, if I want to create some similar record in a new object, other object record, in that case, in this case, means these options, what I said now, cannot be done with the general validation rules or workflow rules. Okay, that is the reason we are going to pick Apex triggers. Okay, Apex triggers. So these triggers is generally fired after some event. There are events which I showed you, some trigger context variables. Okay, so before insert, after insert, before update, after update, before delete, after delete, and before and delete, after delete. Okay, these are all operations you can do. So these are the events. You can do the action before insert. When I'm trying to insert the account record, if I want to do some operation before inserting the record, yes, I will do that. All the validations, you generally do the things before insert. All the field updates type of options will be generally done after doing some update, after update, or after insert. Got it? So I think you have clear understanding now on when to use triggers, right? Coming down to Visual Force programming, when we use them and why. For suppose your business, it's a very big company and you want some custom options on the page. For suppose this is, I'm giving some custom requirement. So your company will follow some branding. Okay, suppose some red color or some blue color for Facebook. So Facebook is also using Salesforce, like Google is also using Salesforce. So for suppose coming down to Facebook, they generally use the blue color. So if they want the CRM application in the blue color of Salesforce and Facebook is not same, right? In this case, I can customize the front end UI user interface, okay, with Visual Force tags. So when you are using page layout, you don't have option to control the properties, the CSS of that page. But when we are using Visual Force pages, you have complete control on the front end part, not in the back end part. Okay, in this case, we generally pick Visual Force programming. Okay, so if the requirement in the back end logic is same, for suppose, give me a second. So if the back end logic is same, then you can use standard controller. So this is also means. So this is completely given by Salesforce. You don't need to write any Apex methods for this. Or suppose if I want to write a simple page with a custom UI, I have to take only account name, account ID, account password, and I have to use a button called save, okay, or create. So I can build this page within less time. Okay, I have an example for that also. So if I click on create, I have to save the record what you entered the information with these three fields. These are important fields, and I'm saving the record in the system in the account object. In this case, I don't need any custom controller. Means custom logic is not required. In this case, I am going to use standard controller of account, and I'm going to use the save method of it, and I'm going to use the input fields, and I'm linking that to account name, account number, and phone number, right? So this requirement can be done with around 10 lines of Visual Force programming code, okay, and automatically the validation rules will apply. Okay, the standard validation rules will apply. And again, so I have a requirement on the account page. I want to show some map, the geolocation of that account. So if the account is located in, if the means headquarter of that account is a customer. So if your customer is located in Ireland or some UK or India or US or Florida, so you have to see the location of that map where they are located properly with their city and with their street address also. You have to pin some map on that. So this is not a, this type of requirements you cannot build with standard controller, because you have a lot of options here. You are trying to embed some third party map, that is some Google Maps or any Bing Maps, okay, right? So this is not your standard page. You are writing some custom methods. You are trying to query some data from your account object, that is the geolocation fields and city, state, all this information, address information, and you are passing these things to the, you are passing this information to the Google APIs, and that Google API is automatically showing some pin at the exact location of that customer. This is what you are doing, right? Okay. And coming down to yeah, this is what means Apex custom controllers are written in Apex. And again, there is one more option called extension controllers. Why we use them? For suppose your requirement is having 70% of standard behavior, that is save, cancel, exit, delete. All these options are same according to the standard controller, and we have very small 30% of additional requirement. In this case, what you do, you don't develop 100% from scratch. Yes, you can do it, but it takes a lot of time for you to, you have to put some effort for that, even for writing the save method. For the simple options, you have to add some small methods. I don't want to do that. I want to use the standard behavior for save, edit, cancel, delete, or clone, or all this stuff. But for the send email option to the account users, I have to use some custom button. So when I'm clicking on that button, I have to send an email. So that type of logic I created in the extension controller class in the method. When I'm clicking on that particular button, it automatically triggers an email to the account owner, account head. Okay. So this is the combination of standard controller plus custom, means custom code that's written in extension controllers, right? Okay. Are you clear till this? If you are clear, let's move on to the general things you have to learn. Means general web programming languages you have to learn. I'll show that link to you. That's what I think Nikhil or some other person is asked me to show it on this class. Yeah. First of all, for learning HTML, means for learning Visual Force programming, you have to very perfect on HTML tags, JavaScript and CSS, because you will be using a lot of CSS options in Salesforce. Salesforce have standard UI, means standard properties coming from the Salesforce CSS. But we have to override. Sometimes you have to override that. You have to override and you have to show your custom CSS. You have to prioritize the CSS. Everything you have to do by using important in the CSS classes, and also you will be using a lot of JavaScript code by including some libraries, or even by including your basic JavaScripting in the program in the page for showing some messages, or for calling some Apex methods directly from JavaScript, auto refreshing some things. Okay. Yeah, there are few action methods which will support that, but you need to write a lot of JavaScript code. So I have some pages which there is around 1000 2000 lines of JavaScript code. And again, this is very simplified. I move a lot of JavaScript code to the supporting JS file, which is uploaded to the static resources. First, suppose we have a page of 400 lines of Visual Force programming. Okay, out of this code, there are 200 lines of JavaScript code. When you are enhancing this page, it may go up to 600 lines of JavaScript code also. The requirement, if it is going up, it automatically grows up, right? Then in this case, you don't need to write all these lines in one page, the JavaScript code. You can move all the JavaScript code to the other file with extension you can put any name, the file name, but the extension should be .js. This file you create separately and you upload in static resources. That's option I showed you. It's available in develop. Under build, under develop, you have static resources also. These are some assets which you are going to use in Visual Force programming. Okay, so this is to minimize the lines of code on the Visual Force page. Same way, you can also migrate you can also move the CSS coding, CSS lines to the .css file. Okay, right? So, and you can use the template system to minimize the number of lines of code in the VF page also, because you can create some components, templates for Visual Force pages, and you can insert that automatically in this VF pages. This is for reducing the number of lines of code, the VF lines of code. Okay, right? Okay, and coming down to, if you are very new to the, programming languages, go to web. Go to double3schools.com and see, these are important tutorials. Yes, the simpler way to learn these skills: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These are the three things you have to learn for, at least for starting with Visual Force programming. Okay, HTML, it describes about the tag, HTML tags. Okay, CSS, it defines how to provide properties, color codings to colors, size, or font size, font type, padding, alignment, positions of that, everything. You can control everything, and you can even control the border sizes. A lot of things are there, and the strongness of the text. Everything can be controllable with CSS. I just showed you what all I remembered in the air. Okay, there are many things to do with CSS. You have to use these classes. You have to assign these things to the classes, and you can apply these classes to n number of components in the Visual Force page. Means the same properties will be applied to all the other pages also. Coming down to the JavaScript, yes, it's little tough than these two. You have to know how to call the methods in JavaScript. If there is any error in JavaScript, the complete page will not work. The complete JavaScript coding will not work. You have to make sure that your JavaScript is clear, completely good. Okay. And again, when you are finished your requirement, just check your console. What is a console? Right click on this in the inspect element. Means this is called Firebug. It's available for Firefox and Chrome. If you are clicking on this, if you are clicking on console, it shows the errors, logging, securities, all this stuff. Okay, I'm clicking on logging. Okay, so there is no errors here currently. Okay, I can debug the code. I can. There is no errors generally. Hey, hi. Yeah. So JavaScript tutorial. So this is, again, you can start it. So you have to learn about. The funny thing is, this is really powerful language. You can call methods very means it's very basic programming. If you try that, it like you really enjoy it while you are learning it. Okay. So one other thing I want to say, ask you to learn is jQuery. What is this? You don't need to learn specially jQuery if you are good at JavaScript. This is a JavaScript library, okay, which you, so where jQuery, they have already developed a lot of resources, means for sliding, for animations, for a lot of applying CSS dialog boxes, everything, okay, these guys have applied it, okay. These guys have completely done that. You can simply use that particular methods of jQuery and you can use that. With less number of coding, you can finish your requirement when you are able to use jQuery. Okay. So jQuery API. So I'm going to the jQuery official site. So yeah, if you want to know about the methods of it, click on this API documentation. These are all the methods. These are all the methods to add classes, to add errors, to add you to use Ajax, to use DOM elements, to use events, mouse events, keyboard events, and everything. See the basic effects, animations, basics, custom, fading, sliding, all these are methods available. By simply using this function, you don't need to write hundreds of lines of code. If you don't have this method, yes, you have to write many lines of code, okay? Yeah, so coming down to this, these are the fade in methods, fade in out, fade out methods, okay? Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, these are all some of the effects you can use it. Same requirement if you want to use the fade in effect in your system, in your page, in your JavaScript. It takes around minimum 60 lines of code. But here we are using simple function for that. That is the reason most people are using jQuery, not only in Salesforce, in other web projects also. So this is jQuery for proper CSS and means proper JavaScript for minimizing the JavaScript lines of code. This is JavaScript library. If you click on this, this is jQuery UI. For implementing the UI thing without, for suppose, if you want to build some widgets or menus or progress bar or select menu slider, tabs, okay, and any tooltips, okay, and special effects, you can use this jQuery UI, okay. And same way there is jQuery mobile also. When you are trying to build jQuery mobile applications, you use this. You don't need to use means you don't need to try this, but if you have time, you can try this also. But it's very similar to jQuery, and if you are good at jQuery, you can even use the jQuery mobile also. There are very different methods here. jQuery mobile is especially for the mobile devices where you can use the responsive web design and things here. And for suppose if you want to switch a page, there is some different method here. On slide what you have to do operation. So when you see the new mobile application by Gmail, when you are sliding the message towards right side, it's archiving. When you are sliding towards the left side, it's deleting, right? The same thing you can do this type of options in with jQuery mobile for your custom mobile application. Okay, these are some other libraries for the same way too by jQuery. Okay, this is the pure JavaScript CSS. Okay, selected engine. You can select some of the elements dynamically with this. These are all libraries. So I don't want I'm not asking you to try all these options, but at least HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and jQuery. This is what I want you to explore. By at least by this takes 1 hour. This takes 1 hour. This takes more than that. This takes again at least you spend only 1 hour because as you are already learned JavaScript. Okay. But in today's class, we are trying out some Apex examples. You know what tags are there, but we are going to use how we are using this in Visual Force programming. Okay, I have some classes in this organization. That's what I'm trying to show. And even if you see the link which I shared with you, I have even added some of the Apex programming and VF programming example classes to your playlist also. You can try that links also whenever you're free. That's the reason I want to try some new options this time instead of old examples. New window, right? And I'm copying this here. And coming down to this, yeah, this is organization. Again, you have access to this organization. I know most of them are accessing it. Let's check whether you are accessing it or not. For suppose you are a system administrator of this organization. Yes, if I want to check whether my people are logging in properly or not, just click on login history. Okay, I clicked on it. Yeah, so this is the login history of my application, not for specific user, for all the organization users. You know how to do this, right? You know how to access this. Why we use it? For suppose, if I got a mail saying, hey, I am Jason, I'm having issues with my login today morning. Can you fix it? If I got some email like this, why you get this email? If you're a system admin, you'll be getting these emails from your users. What you do? You go to the JSON user by clicking on this. See, this is the users. You can see all your enterprise users here, Salesforce login users, okay, or any other portal users, all this stuff. So you click on your profile. So I'm searching for Jason. Same way here I'm going to search for new people, that is Salesforce 4 training 4. I'm clicking on this. This is your profile. This is the username and the password is Salesforce 1. It seems. I don't remember that. Yeah. So if you come down, see, I have a login history which is here. See, I have login history. First of all, first login happened on Jan 4th, okay, Jan 17th, Jan 18th, 19th, even yesterday. I see it, I think today, okay. Someone logged in today and even yesterday also, even 17th. Someone tried with invalid password. So when some people are hitting this thing without some bad password, I can see what is the status, whether they're entering the wrong password or whether they're trying to enter from different system or not. See what happened? Some other user is trying to enter from different IP address or system. That's the reason it's failed computer activation. Okay, you have to enter the proper 5-digit code, otherwise it will fail. Okay. So where you get the 5-digit code? I have configured training.salesforce4@gmail.com. I think Ravi have configured this. He took this email address. This email is a group email which you all the 6 people have access to. For token, you use this. Now I can see you guys are logging in perfectly. Okay, you guys are trying to access my system. That's okay. I'm making sure that you guys are using it. Okay. And coming down to so what you want to try, because if you want to try some Apex things, all this stuff, don't try in this edition, but this edition is only useful to use the existing code and copy, and use that, see the code for accessing the code, and use it in your developer edition. Okay. These are Apex classes, these are pages and stuff. I'm clicking on pages. First of all, my requirement is to show you the pages, how it works, okay? And again, this is one way of accessing the code. I will show all the ways, okay? Don't be confused. If you have any issues, please let me know immediately. Put me on chat, okay? I'm just using microphone now currently. If you have any issues, put me on chat. I will connect to my headphones as well, right? Okay. So when I click on build develop pages, I am seeing all the pages. From there, I am going to the hello world page. These are all the pages. If you want to see more and more pages, click on more and more button at the bottom. There are more pages here. That's the reason I'm sharing you this organization to you. You can use the code existing in this, which are available in this organization. Okay. Some of the examples are really bad because my participants have created that by cloning that. Okay. Don't worry about this. So some of the examples are really helpful. You can try that. So let's say this is one way of accessing the Apex Hello World program. See, this is the program. And the other way is click on developer console. Click here, so I can access this from anywhere, from any screen also, right? Come here. I'm clicking on this, and there is a developer console. I'm putting control and I'm clicking on this. Means open in new tab. If I directly click on this, it opens in a new window. Don't do that. So it will be, you can do that, but it's better to keep this in a new tab. This is the developer console. Okay. What you can do is you can even put it as a bookmark and you can use it a number of times. Give me a second. There's someone to me. Hi. Oh, I don't need that. Okay. Yeah. So you have to log into the email. So see what happened is, don't be confused. Okay. So I'm logging with a different ID. I created some ID, some Gmail account also with the same username and password. You can log in with the Gmail also in a new tab, and you can access the verification code. Asif.
Right. So same Gmail. I go for the same user ID and password of the Gmail. Yeah. So then I can get the code.
Exactly. Yeah. So you all 6 people is having that. Okay.
Yeah. I've been trying yesterday for login. You maybe get the history because I wasn't able to be login.
Oh, okay. I think Ravi already shared this information to you. Means
yeah. Then log out. And every detail has gone with the like a chat box.
Oh, no problem. Okay, you can try again.
Yeah. Thanks.
See, and this is something like this complete developer console, which I'm showing you now. This is one way of accessing the code. I'll show you how to do that. See, click on File, click on Open. The reason I want to open the Hello World program, right? Just Hello World pages. There are two. Clicking on this, now I'm opening the Hello World program. See, this is like an online code editor, like IDE, online IDE. So you are going to access Visual Force pages. See, the code which I have saved 2 weeks back is still here. Even though if I close this, it won't be gone. But what happens here in this, there's one more way of accessing this Hello World program. I'll show that to you. I'm copying the URL. I'm pasting in a new tab. See, I'm removing all the code except Salesforce API1.salesforce.com. After that, you can simply give as Apex hash hello world. So as you are very new to Salesforce, I'm showing these options, multiple options to access Visualforce Pro pages. One way is directly going to the pages, click on that, it shows the page information here. This way is you can access the backend, means pages. This is the online IDE. This is called Developer Console. You can open n number of pages, n number of classes, n number of triggers directly from here by clicking on Search, Open. By clicking on New, you can create Apex class, trigger, VF page, component, static resource directly from here. And you can also debug the code by clicking on Debug. You can execute anonymous blocks. I'll show all these options. This new class whenever we are exploring this tool. This is a new tool. Means this tool is available from many years again, but they are adding more and more features for this. Okay. Right. Can you see my screen now? Yeah. Okay. So if you have any issues, means I can still explain the same thing. One way of accessing the page is this, the basic way. This page, this is the very famous way of accessing the page by simply putting after ep1.salesforce.com. I can even remove this. Okay, remove complete code after ep1.salesforce.com. After that, you click on apex hash backslash, and you can write down the page name if you know that. If you want to create a new page, again, you can also do that by clicking on this hash. If you give it some new name like Hello World 120, that page is not existing in my system. In this case, if I'm clicking on enter, see, or Venkat demo, clicking on enter, what happens? There is no page like this in my system. I know that. Visualforce error, page not found, does not exist. Click on this to create a new page with the same name. This is the best way to create a new pages. If you know, yes, I know there is no page like this, I want to create that. For that case also, I simply click on apex hash Venkat demo. It shows this message. By clicking on the simple button, it automatically creates a page for me. It's available in the backend again. So if you see, I think I have done in the previous class the similar demo. You can try even that in your organization also. And one more way of accessing the page creation is simply this: file, new, Visualforce page. And on the Visualforce, on the Apex pages, sorry, on the VF pages, you click on pages. I can even create new on this option, and I can get a new page also directly from the backend. See, click on new. There is a developer console. So for building objects, there is a schema builder. For building code, there is a developer console. This is also similar tool to minimize your effort. It's an online IDE. I want you guys will be using a lot of developer console. Means I'm asking you to use developer console for any creation. Okay. So the other way is again using Eclipse. Select this. This is the Eclipse tool. So generally you can use Eclipse for Java or any other programming languages. I know that. You can download that with Java package, and you can write Java classes in that. How we can use Salesforce with Eclipse? There is a simple thing you have to add to the Eclipse, that is Salesforce plugin. Okay, I think the size is very small. It takes around 10 minutes to install this plugin. So if someone is using some any Windows system or that, I can direct you in the tomorrow morning class. So tomorrow class, what I will do, I will try to install the Eclipse in one of your system. Okay, I will try to screen share your system, and I would like to log in as me from GoToMeeting. I will try to share the system. Okay, now I want to show you, this is complete. So okay, so there are a lot of packages here. The package which I am currently using is this. What happened? I updated the Eclipse plugin. That's the reason it's asking me to update all this stuff. Okay, I don't need to do that. Okay, close. It's asking the new password and thing. I don't want to do that. I want to show you the page which is available in the system. Okay, click on pages. Click on the hello world page. That is EFGH. Hello. I think it's not here. It will be this because this is the old package. Click on this. It's here. Pages. Click on this. EFGH. Yeah. Oh, it's I think hello world page I just created very newly. That is the reason I'm not seeing it here. So let's see hello page. Okay. Click on this. This is hello page. Otherwise I can try some new page. Okay. Demo page 2. This is the demo page 2, right? Remember, the same page I will try to open in even in the system also. I show that to you. Developer console. Click on open. Search for demo page 2. It's here. Select this. I'm clicking 2 times to open the page. See, the code is this. Same code, you can see it here. Got it? Means you are connecting to Salesforce from different ways. If you are flexible in using Eclipse, yes, you can use it. You can also create new pages like this. See, right click here, click on new, VF page, Apex class, Apex trigger, custom application, custom object, home page component, home page layout, letterhead, file. See, everything I can create from Eclipse also, but Eclipse will really help you means only in some areas like creating Apex classes, triggers, and VF pages and any coding part. If you are saying you create a profile here, yes, it's really tough. You have to write lot of programming language, right? You have to write a lot of XML code to write a very basic profile. It's not that easy, okay? So I showed you for creating a simple object, training object, you have to write around 600 lines of code. Can you write it in Eclipse? No. It's better to create training object from the schema builder by dragging and dropping things. The options which you do with Eclipse, which you do with schema builder, if it is taking around 10 minutes of time to create a object and 15 fields or 20 fields, the same thing, the 20 fields on the object will take around 2 days time when you are trying to do it from Eclipse. Eclipse is only useful in some areas like when you are trying to modify the existing code. So what happens here is, see, the one advantage and disadvantage I will show that to you again. This is the hello world page. This is on the front end, right? Directly. I'm writing some code here. Hello world. This is Venkat. I have modified some code here, and by mistake I have some call and I went for some other call. After that, the session is expired. I have not saved this. The session is expired. What happens? Your complete code, what you have written from today morning, is completely lost if you are not saving it. If it is saving, yes, it's available immediately and it saves. Or suppose if there is any error also, what happens? It won't save the page, and whenever you lost the session or whenever you refresh this complete page, your complete coding is lost. See, this is Venkat. What happens? I modified this simple tag now. There is a code by mistake. You have not entered the end tag of H1 properly. That's the reason I am trying to save the record. If there are 400 lines of code, what happens? You don't know where to fix it. Yes, my system will tell you where the issue is exactly, but still, if you don't have time, if I have some call, urgent call to join, some business call, I will be missing the changes. What I have to do here? By the time I come back from my call, the session has expired and I lost my complete code, what I have written here. That is the reason you cannot take backups here. Coming down to the this screen also, if I click on edit, okay, I can write the coding directly from the backend, directly in the backend. See, I can write the code directly in the backend. But when I'm not saving it, when my session is expired, yes, it's completely gone. Coming down to the developer console, yes, when you are typing something here, see this code I have trying to save this, means I have not saved that, but I'm trying to write the code before 2 weeks and I haven't saved properly, but still it's available. This will also show some. It's like a online cloud editor where it automatically saves your state, even though if it is not saved. But this page editor, okay, the cloud page editor will not save your state, will not save your code whenever it's not saved properly. Even this also will not save it, okay. But coming down to your Eclipse, the coding what you are completely writing on this Eclipse is completely in your offline system, in your laptop or in your system. Whenever you're clicking on Control S, see, if I'm writing some code, if I click on Control S only, this copy is still here. First it saves the copy in your local machine and later it will save a copy to your server, Salesforce server. Means you still have the offline copy. So whenever you are writing 400 new lines of code, if you are not still saving it also, it's still available in the Eclipse. There is no session here, there is no expiry thing here. You are not going to lose any data. And one special thing is you have option to even version. You can add some version control plugin to have multiple versions of this page also. The reason why I am saying this is, first suppose demo page. Okay, this is the page. I want to see the history of this. For suppose if my changes are means done today is bad, I want to roll back my changes. What I have to do? See, compare with local history. I have there's no local history for that. Sorry. If I am not doing any changes, there won't be local history. If I have done some changes here and I clicked on Control S, now a new copy is created. The first version, second version, like this. So Eclipse by default will store some number of versions, but if you are installing some plugin called SVN, so source control system, like any version control system, you're going to have a number of unlimited versions, okay, and you can use it in your local machine. You can store it all the versions. If you have any issues with the current 21st version or any latest 500th version, you can go to the 499th version immediately, and you can compare the code with it also. Or else I can do one thing, I'll save it again now. So demo version, I'm saving it. So I'm trying to compare with local history. See, I have a code now. The actual code is created on 8/11, okay, and today I have changed some code, so there's a new version. If you want to compare my code, I can select this. See, the comparison is done and it shows, hey, there is no changes, only there is a space difference here. If I have modified some lines of code, you can still see some messages like this, where the lines are changed and which is changed and which is not changed. This is really useful thing to compare my old pages, to compare my old history, okay, to save everything. These histories are completely in the offline, okay, right? This helps a lot. This feature is not available in your online editor. Whenever you're changing something, you lost the old copy, right? That's the reason most developers will use the Eclipse plugin to save. It saves the older versions also, and if you want to change back to your older version, yes, it's really easy. You can replace the old copy very quickly in less than a minute. Otherwise, you have to store everything in the in a new text files, and you have to reference that to copy and open that, all this stuff you have to do. So, but Eclipse will automatically do that work for you. Okay. So anyway, I want to try some examples today. Okay, what examples I will try? I'll show that to you. I'm getting a new view to check whether all the customer control. Okay. So this is a view. You know how to create the views for an object. Okay. Am I right? How to create views? What are views? Views is a simple report type of thing on a current tab. For suppose if I want to show customers, customer name, customer ID, customer phone number, customer city, customer state, and customer active status on the page, I can get a simple view. I can even create some filters by saying, hey, all customers belongs to this city. I can put some filters. These are additional filters. Same way for the objects, you have filters for even for VFAs also. You can filter that. So I'm saying, what I thought is I want to only show standard controllers, but I don't have any option to filter that. Anyway, yeah, I want to show this example to you guys. Account standard controller. Okay, how to open that page? Simple. Replace hello world with this. Click on enter to show the demo directly and even the code directly on the same screen. See. If you don't like to see the code, just click on this button down, up for showing this page and drag and drop things. Okay, if you click on this button, it closes out. Again, for opening up, you can drag and drop this stuff. So yeah. So first of all, I will explain this page, what we are doing, what is the requirement first. My requirement is to create a account page, okay, and I want to accept account name, accounts, customer site, sorry, customer and account are same similar, don't worry about that. Type, phone, number of contacts, active. These are the basic things I want to take information from the page. I want to create a new page for that. This is a very custom page. The VF page I'm building it. That the name of it is account standard controller. Okay. If you see account page, sorry, Apex page is the starting tag. You can see the same tag for all the pages. This is the starting and ending tag. Each and every starting tag must have end tag, otherwise it won't show. It will show some error on the screen. See, I'm removing it. What happens? XML document structure must start and end with the same entity. I'm clicking on Control Z, clicking on Save. Don't worry about this. What happened here is when I'm selecting my cursor at form tag, it's showing 2 times. Sorry. Don't worry about that. But in the previous scenario, I have removed the page tag. This is what happened. Okay. This is what happened. There is no page tag now. When I clicked on save, it's not saving the things. That's the 31st line. I can go to 31st line and it says, hey, there's no Apex page. That's what you hear. Okay. I'm giving Control Z. Saved properly. And coming down to this, there are a lot of attributes for each and every tag. So how to check the attributes? Okay, just select this. See, these are all the attributes. What are attributes? For each and every tag, you can pass some attributes. So if you want to pass some action, which I have to do on page load, I have to use this action. This is a page action. This is called page action. Okay. If I want to use API version, okay, I can use this. If I want to use apply body tag, click on this. Apply HTML tag, true or false. So it accepts Boolean values. See, when I'm selecting any attribute, there is a simple option in the bracket what it accepts. A Boolean or so action attribute will accept action method. API version will accept double value. Catchy will accept Boolean value, yes or no. Content type will accept, sorry, true or false. Boolean value is true or false, not yes or no. Content type is again string. Controller is again string, what you have to give. And document type expires, extensions, classes for defining it, ID. So these are extensions is very important attribute to define extension classes. Extension controllers are same, okay. Controller is custom controller. I will show you the standard controller option also. That is here for defining. See, I'm using this standard controller equal to account, means I'm currently referencing my current page to the account standard controller, means I can use the standard methods of account object, save, and I'm clicking on save. What happens? It's trying to save the account data, not the contact data. Got it? When I'm referencing some standard controller to an account object, now I am going to use the account object properties on this page. The tab which I have selected here is the account object tab. See, there is customer object. If I am replacing this with contact object, it automatically points the tab to contact object. But I can see a lot of page errors because there is no this type of field names in the contact object. I don't want to do that. Okay. And label. The page label, it's showing here, the page label, and show chart equal to true. What is show chart? This also accepts Boolean values and it shows this. So these are all a lot of options. Show header equal to true. This is this header option. If I'm giving it as false, what happens? Check it. I'm putting Control S, Command S in Mac. Okay. It completely disables the top header. You can see the page how it looks like. So you have complete control on your VF page now to control, to disable your header, to disable your chart, to control your CSS of this also, to control your buttons alignment also. Show chart equal to false, or else I can even use anyway I want to use the options which I showed you earlier, right? See, these are all the actions. Sorry, these are all the attributes. Sorry, attributes for the page, Apex page. You can use these attributes in any of the page. Okay. Render as all this show header equal to false, show chart, show sidebar. This is called sidebar. See, if I'm doing show sidebar, if I'm going back again and giving it as false, now I don't see the sidebar on the left side. See what happens. You can check it. The left side sidebar is completely hidden. So here, if you want to disable or enable something, you are not changing a lot of options. You are simply changing some very Boolean value of some attribute inside some tag. Same way, there are many tags and there are many attributes for each and every tag. How to do that? How to know about these attributes? How to know about these values? Okay, you are very new to Visual Force development and you don't have really good idea on these attributes. The best way to do that is you have to use component reference. Click on this button. When you click on this button, I'm going to open the component reference in the new tab. Use control click. You use click on by clicking on control. What happens? It opens the new tab. If you're using simple component reference, it opens in a new window. Again, you have to switch windows. That's really a hard job. But when I click on a new tab, yes, it's here. These are all the VF components. First, suppose currently I'm dealing with the page tag. Where is the page tag? It's completely in the alphabetical order. Go to the P. Click here. This is the page tag. Yes, this is the page tag. This is the complete description about the page tag. and this is also going to show some reference. What's the difference between the Apex page tag and HTML also? Okay, these are all the component details: attributes, attribute type, description about that attribute, and API version when this feature is released by Salesforce. So this action feature is released by Salesforce at 10.0 version, and see, everything is clear. This thing is released in 27th version of Salesforce. The current version of Salesforce is 32nd version. Remember, let's see what features are released in the 32nd version. No, there is no new features in 32nd version. Okay, same way, you no need to ask me about any tag. I simply explained you why we use the tag in the previous class by showing some cheat sheet. You already have the cheat sheet, but the cheat sheet says very simple option why we are using page tag, why we are using output, input text, output text, all these things. But means even though as I worked for more than 6 years on this platform, I have not used most of the application, means VF tags, means most of the VF tag attributes. I use the most of the tags, but I have not used most of the attributes. I even don't have idea about some of the attributes, but you have some time with you to explore some of this information by simply going to the tab, by simply going to the component reference and clicking on the tag what you want to look into and go to each and every attribute. And if you have some issues in usage, click on the usage tab. These are two tabs. Okay, this is how you can use it. For using, see, and again, there is one funny thing here. If you want to generate some PDF files, it won't take much time. Simply build your page what you want to show for the user. Click on, simply use some attribute called render as equal to PDF. So see, let's go to render as keyword. See, render as is here. There are different formats it can support. See, if you are using this render as equal to PDF, it automatically creates the PDF file with the data on your page. So for suppose if you are building some offer letter with the dynamic values, with the offer letter related to person name, the offer letter amount and date of joining and the position what he is joining for, automatically, then you can generate automatically PDF offer letters from your VF pages also. Got it? Right? So do you want me to explore all this? Do you want me to show all these options to you? If you want to show all these options, it takes 1.5 hours for each and every tag. Okay, but it's really very simple to explore on your own. The component reference directly from here, even though I'm not explaining these complete options in the classes, but whenever I have an option to explain you, yes, I will explain very quickly on the attributes which I'm using in the current application. Let's say we are currently opened an application, the VF page called account channel controller in this page editor. This is here, right? So we are using label tag for label, channel controller for assigning for linking this page with the account object standard controller, and show chart equal to false. This is the option. If you give as false, it won't show you up here. This chart is for application chart. So your organization people can chart with this chart bar. So I can click on this. I can see the people who I have kept favorite. I can see the people who are available, who I follow, all this stuff. Okay. And show header equal to false. This option is header. Show sidebar equal to false. This option is it. Okay. If I'm removing this, by default, this is true values. Okay. Even show header is also equal to true. By default, it's true. If you want to keep it false, yes, use show header attribute and assign the value to false. I'm saving it now. Okay. And you know what is form tag. Why we use the form tag? If you are trying to accept some values from the user, means it's a form. That is the reason I have to use the form tag. All the input items, all the output items, I have to keep it inside the form tag, because you are taking some data or showing some data on the screen. Okay. This is the form tag, and inside it there is complete information. See, the form tag is ending at the end. starting after page, ending before page. Means every tag which is belonging to this page is inside the form tag only. See, what is page block? I said this is the page block is useful to I can say like page block is useful to add the look and feel of the page. So without using page block, I don't have this proper layout and design. So did I mention my account input page should look in the bold format and should look with a strong content? No, right? See what happened. I simply use a page block title equal to my account input page, right? Um, yeah, sorry. Any message from me? For me? What is the label tag? Yeah, for setting some label to the page, this is the label tag, we use it. So now this page has a label called Venkat. Okay, so if you want to know about that information, more about that, yes, just go to the component reference, click on LAB, search for LABEL. Yeah, label here. So you are simply adding some label used to reference the page in Salesforce setup tools. Okay. So label, you know that it's a simple name assigned to that page. Yes, there is a default page name also. Yet one more label what you are assigning to the page to search, okay, to reference something in the Salesforce setup tools, right? And if you are trying to show some localization thing, language information to the user, yes, you can show the page in different languages also by putting the language encoding en underscore us or en. So FR for French, I think so. There are a lot of and something, EF for Spanish, something like that. I don't remember the encoding names. These are all useful in localization. Okay, this coding is same in Java and Salesforce, anything. The names are same. You can use the same name also. Okay. Any issues other than that? Okay. Anyway, come back here onto the page editor. So and messages tag. Anyway, why I'm using messages tag? If I have any standard validation rules, means any custom errors I want to show on the page, I'm trying to show on the top of the page. See, all the messages I will show above page block. Above page block I want to show. See, I am trying to save the information. See what happens here. See, customer name, you must enter a value. Why is this it showing here? This is the standard validation which I have given. So I am simply giving Apex messages here. I simply added this tag before page block. What is page block? Page block starts from here. It automatically adds line with the branding from the tab, the blue color branding. See, this color will come from the top color object link branding. If you are linking with contact, if contact is having some red color, it automatically shows red color here. The page block will get the properties from the standard controller. Okay. See, and this is the information. The error message I can show like this. I can even apply some colors here by putting some CSS coding to this. Okay. Bring some style. See, style is here, and I will put some font equal to, sorry, color equal to red. What happens now? My errors will be shown on the red color. See, I'm clicking on save. See what happens here. The difference you have seen very quickly. So the CSS which I use is very simple. Okay, this is the very basic CSS I have applied here, but I can do a lot of advanced CSS also. by putting the font size, font content, center. See, I can use center tag also. Center tag is HTML tag. I can use directly here. See, center. Click on save. What happens here? It will be saved, and if I'm clicking on save, my message will show in the center of the screen. Okay. I hope you understand why. Why CSS is really helpful. Which attribute should be assigned for custom objects? For standard controller. No, you have mistaken. Yes, I have to. Yes, people will generally get some question on this. Generally, what happens is standard controller can be used for custom objects also, not only for standard objects. Okay, all the objects what you have created in the back end, if you want to use the standard functions like save, cancel, all these simple functions, you can use this. Okay, or even the standard behavior of inputting the data or showing the data on the screen, you can use the standard controller directly. It applies, it helps you for all the standard and custom objects also. Okay. The custom controller means it's not for custom controllers. It's for even for standard objects also and custom objects also. The main thing here is you are writing custom logic. Okay. But again, if I have a custom object called training__c, in that case I have to use training__c here, not simply training. Why I am not using __c for account object is the standard object. There is no __c or __s for standard objects. There won't be any __ for standard objects. Check your contact object. It's simply contact. You have to give it here for linking in the standard controller. If I'm giving as C __c, what happens? It throws some error on the page. There is no object like that. Got it? Yeah. So in today's class, I will simply explain this page, and I will be moving down to means the other example. If you have time, otherwise we'll be skipping. We'll be again meeting in the tomorrow's class. If you are facing any issues, please let me know. Okay, whenever you are facing any issues. And again, the main thing here is if you want to learn Apex VF pages and Apex coding and stuff, you have to practice a lot. As I said, if you are free in the morning time, just try all the examples. You can even copy the code from my system, and you can create the new examples in your developer editions, and you can try updating some values and things. Okay. Again, if you are good at programming, means after this class, I know you are really know how to use VF pages and how to use Apex classes, and you can even understand the code what people have written. By seeing my code, you know, hey, this code is written for showing the contacts. This code, so this line of code is useful for printing this value. All this stuff you know. But when your customer is asking you to try to develop something on your own, yes, you feel big problem there. You don't know where to start with, and you don't know what to write. That's the problem. That's the reason I want you to try examples, and I want to engage you a lot by putting a lot of assignments to you guys from today. Okay. Is Salesforce developer for UI frontend and backend Apex? Exactly. Means we use frontend for we use VF pages for frontend and page layouts also. Okay. And for the backend, we use Apex. Coming down to configuration, we use the workflow rules, approval process, on the automation, the validation rules and stuff in the backend logic. Okay, all the logical things is done by this, right?
Right. Usually, like this happens when we work for the enterprise web development. There's a UI team is doing their own front page on all designing work, UI and UX, and core Java, programming or object-oriented language, they are doing for the back-end work. So, but in Salesforce, there is both responsibility in the Salesforce developer shoulder, isn't it?
Exactly, Asif. Yes. So when you are a Salesforce developer, you will be working on the full stack. Not only on these two parts, you will be working on the business requirements. Not only on the business requirements, you'll be working on the database design and everything. So
Right.
there are people who generally work for a project, one person per project, and that guy will be able to do the complete configuration of the CRM, the complete application design, architecting and stuff. So people are using more people to minimize to move the things really faster, but one person is required. One person is enough to build things. It's not like other legacy programming languages. Yes, coming down to Salesforce, the requirements what you are able to do in Salesforce in 2 months or 3 months, it takes around year or more than that. 2 years are that in Java projects. I know that. It's really quick. Okay, it's really quick in Salesforce, and the team size are very small.
So there is
And the
agile
team,
methodology is working. So to interrupt you.
yeah. So
There.
most people who are using Salesforce, they use agile methodology, and the iterations will be around 1 week. Like this, they use it, and you will be. So I really found. So I know some people who are working in Java. They generally take some very small, means 2 to 3 user stories. Coming down to Salesforce developer, yes, they will be getting more user stories, and the requirements. Yeah, it will be obviously more. And I'm not saying you can't finish it. Yes, it's easily to finish the requirements in a very short time.
And who does the production work, like a ticketing and all? If there is a ticket, so who will solve
Yeah.
that?
So generally, yeah. So coming to this training, I am trying to teach you the administration part, developing part, and even the deployments and production maintenance also. But I'm not aggressively focusing on production and maintenance and stuff. But I can show you, I can direct you how to do that. That comes into deployments and stuff. That's also means coming down to some projects, the same Salesforce developer will do this task also.
Right.
It's
So
not that
they
big
use
task in
for the.
Salesforce.
So they will use the remedy for the ticketing, because I used to work for the ticketing as well for the enterprise web development. So there is a
Yeah. So
software
yeah,
remedy. Yeah.
yeah. So I really found some people because uh, what happened in my project is when I'm working with a small project. So I want to manage. So the people want to manage cases inside some system. So if there's any defects, I want to fix. I want to manage something. So I have to use some tool. What happened? My manager asked me to develop some tool for that internally in Salesforce. We did that in 2 to 3 days for managing the cases and stuff. We are using Salesforce for the same thing for managing the defects and stuff instead of buying some other tool. That's that's the power. That's the power of Salesforce. Means it's easy to develop things. We developed our own uh, tool for managing the tickets issues of the project in less than 2 days of time. Okay, and the same tool we are using for our application. That's how it happened. But generally, yes, some projects will use some tools like a Rally for project management, where it's completely means agile methodology type of projects, and they create user stories and requirements. If there is any defects, see what all you have done on this week. You have to show the demo on this calls, Scrum calls to the customer. So if they have any issues, they will let you know. And there is a testing team who will be working parallelly on the same user stories immediately. You get the feedback very immediately on the same call or after the day. You have to fix it very immediately on that. Okay, so
Thank
the
you.
things are really moves faster in this, and I want you guys also to be very proactive. So coming down to other other technology guys, right? They have a lot of time to do, but we have less time to do more tasks. Okay,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. And again, see, uh, once you start working on this thing, right? You are going to work on full stack, front end, back end, everything. And you not only working on the technical part, you will be very closely working with the business team. What all you are developing with Salesforce is completely related to your business, directly affects your business. First of all, you have to understand what they need. If the business is very closely working with you, means it's the main CRM system you are developing for them. Unlike the other projects, when I worked with Java earlier, uh, I don't know what I'm doing, right? I simply take the requirement from my technical lead. I simply do the stuff, weeks or so. It's not like this in Salesforce.
So are they developed from the scratch or the existing, Salesforce software or like whatever, like a cloud, we are working on it? Or are we going to be start from the scratch?
In means all the projects, no. Some projects have enhancements. Some projects will be starting in the mid of some phase. Okay, it depends on when you have joined that customer. Means if it's a new customer, yes, you are building it from scratch.
Because usually,
If
like
it's a
all
old
companies
customer,
are deciding to be, like implement for the Salesforce, I think it's 70% companies, I believe. You better know, but
yeah,
uh,
most of the companies are now using Salesforce for their CRM.
yeah,
So you will be because there are some means they are already using Salesforce for their sales and marketing. They want to extend it. They want to add some new applications to that. They want to automate some more things. They want to give support to the existing customers. They want to instead of using some other application for ERP, they want to use Salesforce. Instead of using a supply chain management tool for another system, why can't we use the cloud tool so the complete supply chain management team can use Salesforce and monitor things on live, on cloud completely. So what's the difference? If you're using the cloud application, there's no time lag and everything is automated, right? Coming down to the legacy systems, it takes some time to refresh and connect to other systems, and the supply chains will take some time to refresh and show the refresh date on the on things, right? So that's what happening. If you see the App Exchange application, there are some applications for supply chain, inventory management, ERP, and even HR management, finance tools, payroll management, lot of things. So for suppose, if I am a company, if I am using Salesforce, I can simply buy some licenses for my finance guys from the finance application. If there are two finance people in my company, I can buy two finance licenses from Financial Force. It's a accounting application for my company. Yes, I can save a lot of money instead of buying some new financial software from other company. And again, it's easy, completely on cloud. They can also use it completely, the finance application on their mobile also, right? That's how it's happening now. Slowly, people are moving. So in these cases, if they want some new applications, yes, they will create a project for that, and they will hire some people for doing that. That's what's happening, and there are many for jobs in United States and even across the globe. Many developers, and again in the same way, it became the really big skill.
right. Right. The one question for the interview as well. I've been looking, go through for the question of the interview for the Salesforce developer, but I didn't find, like any question about the FX classes or like uh, overriding, overloading, and abstract class interfaces. So and I never been come across for any interview as well in real life. So what sort of the question is like possible to be come as a developer like we are expecting to be like interviewer can ask.
Yeah, see, the questions means it depends on the roles and responsibilities what you're applying for. If you're a developer position, yes, they will obviously ask about triggers, GF pages, FX classes, batch classes, and it depends. When you are unable to answer some of the questions on FX triggers, yes, they will go deep into that. Again, it depends. If some Indian interviewer is interviewing, yes, they ask a lot of technical stuff. If you're a developer, they generally go into a lot of advanced topics. Again, if your interviewer is in some US guy, okay, it's really easy to crack.
Agree.
So exactly. So if they ask about some question on triggers, if you say why we are using it and have done this many triggers, yes, that's it. They generally close. And if you say yes, we use this many triggers for this type of requirements, they close it. But coming down to the uh, technical Indian interviewers, right? Yes, yeah, most of them are them only because most of these questions are are doing by them. So they generally go for the technical interviews and they ask a lot. So they ask what happens when there are four triggers, and if this trigger is getting helping other trigger to fire. What this type of scenarios will generally is really tough to answer by new people. Even though if they are old, experienced also, if they don't have worked on that type of scenarios, they can't answer that. They will
Uh,
confuse a lot by saying the wrong answers to that. So that's the thing. Okay, if you are having the US interviewer, yes, it's really good. You can easily crack it with very simple answers.
like most probably, I'm looking for a permanent job. There is, like a 70 or 80% permanent job. What's the reason behind of it?
Right. Yeah. So yeah, there are a lot of good jobs in the market. Yes, you can try for that. Again, see, let's continue this class, and we can work on this interview part and questions in the later classes. Okay. I want to finish this example at least by today's class. At least some of the things I want to show it on this video. Okay. Is it fine? Can I go ahead on this page? Yes. Okay. Thanks a lot. And coming down to the tags, you know about the form tag for if you want to use some of the forms like input text, everything you have to use the form tags. Currently in my scenario, I'm using input fields. See, input fields are here. These are all form tag. See, these are all the buttons. Don't neglect about this. Why I created these buttons, I simply added it. Okay. So what happened is I'm using some position tag to position my button after 400 pixels. It counts from here and it's ends here 400 pixels. Still next to it, next to it, next to it like this. I'm adding 400 pixels left of the screen. What happens if I'm giving 300? I want to remove even some of the additional buttons also. Okay. So now the complete button will be moved towards the left side. Means I am asking, hey, count the pixels from the left side. Okay. From here, it go 100 pixels, 200, 300, 400. This is the size. I'm using the program CSS thing here to control my feed, my button alignment, my button position on the page. See, let's use standard CSS. How it works? Standard buttons. There is a tag called Apex page block buttons. This tag can only be used inside the page block. What happens if I use the tag? Okay, what happens if I use the tag? I'll tell you. Currently, what happened? I removed the style tag. So I'm removing the style tag. I'm not pushing the button anywhere. But this is the default position of this current. This is the default position of this current command button tag. What happens if I remove these page block buttons? I will show you how why this page block is a look and feel tag. These are look and feel tags. Okay. I'm saving this now. What happens? You can see. Tell me the difference. Ravi, can you tell me the difference now? After seeing the screen, what happens to the page? I want to know from you. Okay.
Which one?
So you have seen the requirement uh, before removing the comments for the Apex page block buttons, and after removing the comments. Before removing, after removing.
Yeah, the
What
save
happened
buttons
here
are
is,
lost.
yeah, save button is lost here, but it's enabled here. See,
Yes.
up and down. Actually, the standard
Yep.
behavior is, if you the best practice of any buttons in the page or application, enterprise application is, see, I don't want to disturb this, but I'm going back to some other page, clicking on clicking on contact tab. I'm opening a contact, but the best practice is, if I'm opening any record, I have to show the buttons or options on the top of the page and even on the end of the page. Because customer, when he's at the bottom of the page, I can use the, if this is the case, I can use the buttons here. Otherwise, I can even use at the bottom of this page also. If I'm scrolling here to the bottom, the best way to use these buttons to clone or edit or delete. I don't need to scroll up. This is the best practice. That's the reason when I'm using the save button inside my page block buttons, it's automatically assigning the button 2 times. Save, save, save here. What happens? I am removing this and I'm adding the button, save button after the page block buttons, and I'm saving this. Give me a second. Yeah. So you got the thing right. So when I'm putting the button outside of my page block buttons, it's completely in this position without any proper centering. Okay, so so the user cannot see the screen sometimes because it's completely on the left side. I cannot click on save button. Sometimes he will search for this where the save button is. So, but when I'm see, I don't have even the second button at the bottom of the page also. But if I'm cutting this page, see if I'm copying and I'm pasting inside the page block buttons, if I'm clicking on save, see there is some problem here on the UI part. The browser is showing some problem. Okay, see what happens is here. See, I have button. This is the button which I have kept inside page block buttons. It automatically keeps the button in the center of the page. See the distance between this and this, and this is see what's happened here. And when I click on this also, it also have the same functionality, right? Right? What happens now? You can see the refresh. Now I remove this button. So when you're using page block tags, so generally if I'm using simple something like this, if I'm using my account page, it simply shows some text like this. It won't show some highlighted text block letters. But my page block table, see what happened, I'll show that to you. See what's the difference between this and this. See, if I'm using directly my account input page, it shows like this. It won't show like bold color text with highlighted line and stuff. This is the standard properties of Salesforce, which is automatically applied when you are using page block. When you're using page block section, my content section is a section. It automatically highlighted in the dark color section. And see, this information is completely coming from the Salesforce. Even the alignment like this and this is all coming directly from Salesforce because you're using input field. But if you're using input text, it won't show the text value. It simply shows the text box. So when you're using input field, you obviously get the properties from the Salesforce. If it is a text box, it shows text box. If it is a checkbox, it shows checkbox. If it is a picklist value, it shows picklist value. Otherwise, if you're using input text box, see what happens. I am using the type field as input text field. I'm clicking on save. See what happened here? Can you see what happened to the type field? Is it a picklist value now? No. The reason why it happened here is because input text field is simply accepting a simple text value. But when I'm using input field, it automatically takes the properties, what the field type is. It's a picklist value. It automatically copies the picklist values from the backend system, from the metadata, and it shows on the screen like this. Prospect, customer, see. There's a lot of difference between this. If I'm not giving the option what type of customer is this, if customer is entering like technology partner with a simple mistake in the without G, without O, what happens? That value is not available in the backend picklist value and it's an error, right? The intent, the main intent to use picklist values is to take only some set of values like prospect, customer direct, customer channel like this. If you're using simple text box field, yes, he may enter some wrong values, spelling mistakes, or even he may enter some very bad values also, which will give some bad data in my system, right? And you know why? What's the difference between input text and input field? When you are trying to build very custom components, and again it's input text means only text field, then you can use input text. Otherwise, use input field only. Okay. Put checkbox. Put checkbox. Page block section. Section is this. I can create 4 sections also inside this page. Inside the page block, I can use page block buttons, page block sections, okay? And I can inside page block section, this is a page block section item also, I can use it. Page block section item is useful to group some items, okay? When you're using custom controls, I can show the options to you, okay? Page block is this, page block buttons is this. All the buttons which I'm giving it here, I can show it to here. Page block section is this, from here to here. These are page block, so these are input fields. I can create even page block items also. Based on the page block items, it automatically assign the values left, right, like this, based on the page block section type. Order, you know, when I'm creating the page block sections inside the page layout, there is option whether to order the things on left to right or top to down, or single column or two column. The options I can set even here also. I will show the options to you with the attributes. See, columns equal to true. What if I do columns equal to 1? And if I click on save, the columns will be shown as only 1, and you can see the values in the order way. Collapsible equal to true. This generally is available only in the detail page. When you are enter the record, I can collapse this information. Collapsing and expanding, you know how to use that, right? There is a collapsible and expandable arrow button here to collapse and show. Generally, you use this collapsible section for the additional information, address information like that. For the very important information, you don't want to collapse it. You want to show every time. All the time, you want to show that. Yes. And if you want to access this page from, you need this code. Simply go to this account center controller page from my system. There is nothing here. This is the page block section name, column 1. That is, it's only showing 1 column now. Class will equal to 2. This option is only showing is available only for the detail page. On the detail page means on the view page. This is the current edit page. These are the fields, and after ending my requirement, I am simply closing my tags. Page block section item ending, page block ending, form ending, and page ending. Got it? Because I have started these tags earlier, I am closing in the same order after finishing my requirement. After finishing my input fields requirement, I can put a number of fields on this page. So you are simply have written around 25 lines or not, 20 lines of code, not more than that, because there is some spaces between these lines. But you have shown this much page. By simply adding one more line each other, it automatically adds one more field automatically. You don't need to define things for pick list values. Generally, when you want to build a pick list value like this, you have tried around 30 lines of code. Depends on the number of values with the select options in HTML or any JSP, anything. Okay. And again, if you want to write some method here, you have to write some method for that. But simply, I can show how to do that. See, the action I want to see. This is the view page. Clone. This is the edit page. That is my couldn't. Anyway, let's go with this. Because this is the edit page, I cannot give the button for edit also, because this is all the edit page. We generally give the edit button and clone button on the detail pages, because you are cloning the existing record, because this is not a record, saved the record. Okay. I can even give like this. Removing the other clone button again because I cannot give on this because clone button is only available on the detail page, right? And again, yes, if you have time, you can click on component reference and you can explore the options. I'm not blocking you to explore new options. There are a lot of code is available in our instance by going to your developer instance, logging into this and going into Apex pages. Explore all the pages from line by line, starting each other because you know what tags used for which requirement. You have even the cheat sheet access also. You can use the cheat sheets. Keep the cheat sheet before you and go from starting, okay? And try examples one by one, open all examples. First you watch the example and you try to develop the same example in your developer edition on your own. That in that way you can grow your developing skills. I know some people are very new to development, okay? But so Salesforce is simplifying the development. Yeah, and you don't need to write a lot of coding for very simple requirements. Got it? Yeah.
Yeah, Venkat,
So yeah.
Venkat, can you explain the mode is equal to view again? I didn't get that. What's the difference?
Yeah. So actually, I generally use the mode. Generally, when you are trying to make the page view on edit mode, yes, you can set this mode to that. It sets the current mode of this page. Okay. But currently, what happened here is I'm using the input fields useful to show the input items only because it is output fields, right?
Yeah.
So when I'm trying to use output fields, I can show the view as mode equal to view. But anyway, even though if I'm using mode
Okay.
equal to view,
So it
it is
still
output
doesn't
field.
allow us to edit, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. It simply
Venkat,
says the page mode is yeah.
Venkat, did you create these fields in the backend, or else you have created in this page?
No. See, I cannot create a field directly from here. I can only use the fields which are in my database, the backend. Account name,
Okay.
this is a standard object. The name field is there. The site field is there. The account type field is there. That's what I have used it. If I'm trying to use, see what happened if I'm trying to use some field which is not there in the system. If I'm trying to save the things, it will show some error on the page saying, hey, there isn't a field with that name in the backend. See, could not resolve this field name because it's not available in my system. See, the value binding is not available. It's not showing the exact name here, saying that this field is not there. But the reason why it's not saving here is member underscore no underscore off underscore contact underscore c is not there. Contacts is there. Got it? I have to use the
Okay,
fields
Venkat.
which are available in the backend.
So can we change the view type, like you have shown me, right? Pick list and a text field for the type.
Yeah.
For all the other fields, we can do that.
No. See, why I am showing the type field as pick list values. The reason why I am showing it is because it's a pick list value in the backend. I cannot show customer name as pick list value. How can I show that? Because it's simply blank text field, right? See,
Okay.
the difference which I'm showing is here earlier is don't confuse here. When I'm using Apex input field, it automatically checks what type of field is this, and it automatically shows us on the screen. If it is a pick list value, it shows pick list. If it is a text field, it shows text field. Customer name is a text field, it's showing text field here. Customer site is a text field, it's showing text field. Customer type, the type field is a pick list value, that's the reason it's showing pick list value. Okay. But what happened when I'm using input text in the account type? It's again input text is not that means it won't take into consideration what type of field is this. It simply shows, hey, please give some input to this pick list value that is type. What happens in this case? If I'm showing this field as a text field for a pick list value, if customer know what is type of field, he might think a customer type is asking for industry type. He may enter some pharma industry like this because what happens in that case? There is no pick list value with that name. It's a wrong data, right? You are entering into the system. So
Okay.
you have to make sure means when you're using input field, it automatically shows the properties and it automatically shows the available pick list values in the system from the system, the metadata. When you're using input text means you have to enter on your own. You should not use that. Instead of that, you have to use select options. You have to build pick list value with your programming with select options. Select option, each value you have to write one more time, and it takes around, if there are 6 values, it takes around 7 lines of code. So 8 lines of more than that. 8 lines of code. Again, you have to use the XML thing, start and end tag. Each and every prospect option have to use start and end tag. This value start and end tag. This value start and end tag. None value also have to use start and end tag. And above, again, all these options, select options, I have to use parent tag as select options. This is select option tag. I have to use it for this each and every value. If there are 500 cities, if there are around 150 countries and 300 cities, what happens with my select option tag? It goes for 500 lines. But coming down to input field, simply shows the values directly with simple line. Got it? You can't use input text for pick list values. Either you have to use input field, dynamically it shows the property of the field. Otherwise, you have to use select options. That field also is available in your cheat sheet. You can look into that. That's for making radio buttons, pick list values, multi-select pick list values, checkboxes. Got it?
Venkat, Venkat.
Right. Yeah, please. I'm there.
So the customers who will be using the system will be using the VF, I mean the ones which we develop in the VF pages, right? I mean they have access to the backends which we develop, I mean the website and the Salesforce site which we develop, right?
No. See, again, yes, people use VF pages what we develop. See, first, suppose if your customer is happy with the standard pages like the page layouts, what I will show again once again to you. So this is my account page.
Yeah.
This is my sample record. If my customer is very happy with this, I don't need to modify. I don't need to create a new page for this. If my customer says, hey, I want to create one more button called the profile view, the profile hierarchy. So the account hierarchy is a button. If I'm clicking on this, I have to take to a new page, that is Salesforce.com has Apex hash profile view page. On that page, I have to show the diagrammatic representation of this profile, parent company, child companies like this. Diagrammatic representation, yes. In this case, I have to build a page. I don't need to develop the existing.
And we need to, if we develop a new page, we need to again develop each and every part, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
See, what you have done in this page. Tell me what you have done in this page. So you simply haven't developed any of this header. You haven't developed the sidebar also. You are simply enabling it by putting true or false. There is very less number of lines you are coding here. Actually, it takes around not more than 20 lines if I'm removing all these spaces. With these lines, I am developing this much components. Again, for adding new fields, there are 50 fields. I can add all the 50 fields here with a simple line of code. It automatically adds all fields here. See, this is a very simple page I am showing with the standard controller example. I'm not saying this is only we can do. We can do a lot of other things. I can show you some custom widgets which we have developed with completely. It won't look like a Salesforce page. It looks like some other website. You can modify completely by disabling your header and sidebar, and you can even build your custom header with your company logo and company tabs and company some user information, all this stuff on this top of the page, and some other information on the left sidebar. Yes, you can build completely by dividing into components, like simply like how you are developing your websites with your custom VF pages. Again, while you're developing websites, you are writing a lot of code. You are writing the backend logic to integrate your system with some Java or other tools. But here, you are simply integrating your Salesforce with your Apex programming. That's a strongly typed programming language. Again, sometimes you even don't need Apex also. You can directly build the pages with standard controllers. And the tomorrow's class, I want to show some examples to you. In that examples, you will be more clear how simple it is, how to build view pages, all this stuff. With simple 4 lines or 5 lines of code, I can build some very big page of 4 pages of page. If you scroll for, it's very big page. I can do that. The accounts on the account object. Okay. Any question? Someone is asking some question to me.
I was asking for the UX designer work. Who does?
Right. Can you repeat again, Asif, please?
Because if we, design the front page, so we may need, the UX designer as well. So who does the UX designer work? User interface.
It's especially, yeah, it's a Salesforce developer. So when you are when they ask me about the requirements, if they ask you, hey, are you good at Visual Force pages? If you are saying that you are good at Visual Force pages, yes, you have to do the Visual Force, sorry, the UI part, the designing part, the user experience and user interface, everything you have to build it. Again, I'm not saying that's not easy thing. We saw that tough also with Salesforce. It will take some time, but the Salesforce developer has to do that. Yeah, you can ask the time, right? It takes 2 days for me to finish this requirement. Yeah, when I was working with Salesforce, I built a page that's very complex page with around 4,000 lines of code on the VF page and around 600 lines of Apex controller. That's completely the UI widget, the drag and drop options. That took around 3 to 4 months for us to enhance it, to build some new versions of the page. Okay, it depends. There's a complete project. The complete project will work. Will be working on that page only. If there's only one guy, I'm the one. The complete requirement of that project is to do lot advanced logic in the same page with different tabs, custom tabs on the same thing. Step-by-step widget that we have built for Salesforce App Exchange. Yeah, if you're not comfortable initially, you can say that I was not comfortable like this, and you can take some other requirements. But at least for getting into the job, there are, as I said, there are more developer jobs. There are like 20% of things admin jobs. Again, very few consultant and technical architect roles also. Yes, if your experience is really good, you can apply for the solution architects, technical architect positions. If you have very good experience on CRM thing before this, yes, you can say I'm a solution architect. If you say that you have very good experience on Java before this experience, if you are having more than 10 years or 12 years, you can go with lead roles or technical architect roles on Salesforce platform, right? Hey, congratulations, Asif. Yes, super. So when you did, when you took this exam for your own exam, first time when you took it, this week or last week? And I want you to share some of these questions you got, means at least some sample questions to this team. So I want the other people on this group also to try and take this exam. Perfect.
Yeah, it's very easy, and I have highlighted every questions, so that would help to
Sure. Can you please share this message to me on email? I will share it to all the team.
Yeah,
My
I'll do that accordingly. Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I'm closing this class for today, and I have a call starting in 3 minutes. Okay.